In wake of this tragic incident, our family has been under attack. Whatever you think what happened between Karmelo and the Metcalf boys, my 3 younger children, my husband, and I didn't do anything to deserve to be threatened, harassed, and lied about.
That is the mother of Karmelo Anthony speaking out and talking about what's happening to her family after her son allegedly stabbed another student to death. The case has now gone to the next level. The grand jury heard evidence, and now the district attorney is speaking out. Let's take a listen to the district attorney and then the response of Karmelo Anthony's attorney.
Good afternoon. Earlier this spring, our community was shaken by what happened at a school track meet in Frisco. The violent loss of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. For weeks now, my team has been presenting evidence to the grand jury, and today I summarized that evidence, and I asked the grand jury to return a first-degree murder indictment against Karmelo Anthony, which they did. With this indictment, the case now moves formally into the court system. From this point forward, we'll continue doing our job both fully and fairly to pursue justice under the law. As for the scheduling of the trial, that will be up to the court. But when the time comes, we will be ready. Now, we know that this case has struck a deep nerve here in Collin County and beyond, and that's understandable. When something like this happens at a school event, it shakes people to the core. But let's remember that the justice system works best when it moves with steadiness and principle. That's what we're committed to, and that's what this case deserves. We're also mindful of Austin's family and everyone who loved him. Please keep them in your thoughts, and if you're willing, your prayers as well. Finally, let's remember that a defendant is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of law.
An indictment simply means that a grand jury, after hearing only the prosecution side of the story, determined that there was enough evidence to allow the case to move forward to court. That's all an indictment means. Karmelo and his family are confident in the justice system and the people of Collin County to be fair and impartial. Of course, Karmelo looks forward to his day in court. It's only in a trial that a jury will hear the full story, one that includes critical facts and context that the grand jury simply didn't get to hear. It's only in a trial that both sides get to present evidence and cross-examine each other's witnesses. This is why our justice system is based on the principle of a full and fair trial. That's because it's only in a trial that the full story can be heard and that impartial justice can be done. We expect that when the full story is heard, the prosecution will not be able to rule out the reasonable doubt that Karmelo Anthony may have acted in self-defense. Self-defense is a fundamental right guaranteed every American. The law is clear. When self-defense is raised by the facts, the law puts the burden squarely on the prosecution to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the citizen accused did not act in self-defense. The law does not expect or require the citizen accused to prove that they acted in self-defense. It's actually the opposite. The law requires the prosecution to rule out the reasonable doubt that the citizen accused may have acted in self-defense. We understand that this case has sparked strong reactions. Please remember that there are real human beings, kids, on both sides of this case. We ask that everyone do as the law requires and withhold judgment until all the evidence can be heard in court. We are confident that when all the facts are presented and the full story is heard, the jury will reach the right conclusion and justice will be done.
All right, let's bring back in our think tank here in studio. Al Wunsch III, Matthew Mangino, Josh Schiffer. So, self-defense, right? It sounds to me, and the reaction of the public as well, this has struck a nerve. This is reminding me of the Kyle Rittenhouse case out of Kenosha, Wisconsin. Was also a self-defense case, was also a case where a bunch of people came to the support of the accused murderer and was raising money as well. What are your thoughts about how this is going to play out?
It was a track meet. We're at that point in our society where you could go to in a track meet, somebody is going to have self-defense and someone is going to be dead. I mean, this doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. It's a horrific thing. I think that the defense counsel made a big mistake putting what he did up on there. It was a ridiculous yawn, and then he doesn't say anything about a victim and the fact that there is a child who's dead. Okay, he goes right into a situation where he starts talking about the law, and then it's a self-defense thing. I would have gotten up there and just said, listen, I'll see you in court. That's when you're going to hear what we're going to do. To put up that, it was an absolute travesty, and it was a waste of time, and it was foolish.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. You know, it was a yawner on top of everything else. I mean, you couldn't even really listen along. You kind of lost you on the technical aspects.
Hopefully we didn't lose any viewers.
Yeah.
Right?
But the thing is, it's certainly a tragedy. But again, we're in Texas, and Texas is a stand your ground state, and there's no duty to retreat in Texas. And you know, you can defend yourself if you reasonably believe that you're in imminent fear of bodily injury or serious bodily injury. But of course, there also has to be proportionality. I mean, you can't stab somebody who grabs you by the shirt or takes a swing at you necessarily. So it's going to be interesting to see how that develops. It's certainly different than the case we've talked about for the last couple of days on Court TV, the Valley case where you know, there's somebody stabbed and you're in Connecticut and you have a duty to retreat and you have all that sort of thing going on. It's a whole different story in Texas.
To me, this case, there's supposedly some video that may show something, maybe more than one video, but you've also got a bunch of witnesses. There's a bunch of athletes that are underneath this tent at the moment that this is happening. So if the grand juries come back and prosecutors are going with first-degree murder against the 17-year-old, does that tell you anything about the case?
Yeah, it tells me that the DA is hunting for trophies, and he's got one, and he can't not hunt for trophies. That's why they gave him that job. Go get the biggest, baddest trophies you can, even when it's a couple of teenagers surrounded by people and a questionable death. He went for first. But here's my real problem.
Well, but you're presuming some facts there, right? You're presuming that this was self-defense. It sounds like that they're surrounded.
Well, that's just listen. No, I didn't even say surrounded. I said that's what the defense is going to bring up, self-defense. And it's one of the three defenses. It wasn't me. I didn't do it, and he needed killing. This was a he needed killing. That's what's going to come out in the defense. But here's my real problem with those two statements. Totally inappropriate manipulation of a potential jury pool on both of them. And that's bad. It's just bad form. Second of all, Mr. Defense Attorney, love you, feel you, all that. Don't ever talk about the full story coming out in a trial. Trial's an exercise in hiding evidence from jurors.
It is. It
That's what
is.
trial is. And if anybody can talk about it, look at what we've watched the last 6 months.
Right. Yeah.
So what are we going to show a jury is what a trial is.
Exactly. So there's an update from the family of Karmelo Anthony. This has been another point of controversy and debate online. And I'll read this. This is from their Give, Send, Go page. Today we received the official news that our son is indicted. Your nephew, your friend, your neighbor. This is a moment we hope we would never face, yet one we've been preparing for. Your support has reminded us that we're not alone. Your love helped us stand in the face of heartbreak, threats, and misinformation. One that will demand everything from us emotionally, financially, and spiritually. Some may wonder what this fund is truly for. We want to clarify that. So there's a list. Safe relocation for our family after repeated threats and the public leaking of our address. Basic living expenses that we've had to uproot our lives. Transportation to and from court proceedings. Trauma-informed counseling, and for our entire family, enhanced security measures, and critically retaining qualified legal counsel and a thorough, fair investigative team. This has been this is a new in the world we're in now. All these defendants, not all of them, but a lot of the high-profile defendants are raising lots of money. Karen Reed over $1 million, Luigi Mangione over $1 million. I don't know how much they've raised, but they're raising funds as well.
Yeah, and that scares me.
Why does that scare you?
Well, because you know what, you're putting stuff up here, and you're losing focus on the case. Oh, we need to be able to move. We need to be able to do this. We need to be able to do that. Woe is me. Okay, we have a victim. We have a dead child. We have a child who's got a first-degree charge against them. That's the principal focus. When you start bringing in, well, we need transportation. We need this. We need that. We need groceries. We need
and we
food.
need to break. We're out of time. Al Wunsch, Matthew Mangino, Josh Schiffer. Great to have you aboard.
Thank you.
Quick programming note, folks. Oh, this is a big one. One of the central figures in the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking trial will be joining me tomorrow night right here on Closing Arguments. He goes by the nickname The Punisher. He testified as part of the federal prosecution's case. He told the jury about his participation in freak-offs with Cassie Ventura. Here's a quick look at some of his testimony using AI-generated voices.
I was working as a male exotic dancer, stage name Punisher.
Do you recognize these individuals?
I do. Mr. Sean Combs, Ms. Cassie Ventura. I was hired sometime in late 2012 to create like a sexy erotic scene for them on occasion.
The Punisher, there he is. Will be joining me live tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on Court TV. It's an interview you do not want to miss. All right, don't go anywhere. When we come back, something else you need to know tonight, plus coming up next hour. Tonight on Vinnie Politan investigates the cold-blooded murders of 4 University of Idaho students in the early morning hours of February 13th, 2022. Where did the suspect go after the stabbings? Tonight, we investigate.
Join Court TV's Vinnie Politan with the latest and breaking true crime stories.
Now, let's look at the other side of all of that.
Vinnie Politan Investigates, coming up next, only on Court TV.
A high school party ending in a fatal stabbing.
It was very hectic. People started yelling, screaming.
But what led to this tragedy in an affluent community?
The Preppy Party Murder Trial. Live coverage weekdays, 8/7 Central on Court TV.
Welcome back. Time to reveal something else you need to know tonight. Let's take a look at the big board. What do we have? Trial day 1. This is the trial of Brooks Houck and Joseph Lawson, both accused of the murder of Crystal Rogers, who's been missing for 10 years. It's a case we've been tracking for years here on Court TV and on Closing Arguments. But unfortunately, folks, the judge doesn't want you to see the case. Cameras are permitted in Kentucky under judicial discretion, but this judge doesn't want the public to see what's happening, so all you will see are sketches, but we obviously will keep you up to date with what is happening. Big headline from today is that the defendant's mother allegedly asked one of her son's workers if he could find someone to get rid of Crystal. Please take a look at your television screens. We have a missing child who needs your help tonight. This is Ava LaRue, just 13 years old, missing out of Raymore, Missouri since June 18th. Take a look at her picture. If you see her, pick up the phone, make a call, make a difference. 1-800-THE-LOST, 911, or you can call the Raymore Police Department. Don't go anywhere. We've got another hour of live true crime. Vinnie Politan Investigates is next. In the meantime, please don't forget to hug the kids.